Just a short walk from Palazzo Barberini, you will reach the highest hill in Rome, the Colle del Quirinale, or Quirinal Hill. Here stands the elegant Palazzo del Quirinale, today the official residence of the President of the Italian Republic. Now, I recommend visiting the inside of the palace, but be aware that tickets are only available on specific days and reservation must be made in advance. Even if you don't manage to go inside, strolling through the piazza in front of the main entrance and admiring the impressive façade is absolutely worth the visit. I chose to add this site to the itinerary because of its history and fascinating stories tied to it, since it was commissioned by a pope just before the 1600s. And yes, you heard me right, the palace was originally built by the pope as a summer residence. Thanks to its higher elevation, it was the perfect place to escape the heat during the hot Roman summers. The popes loved it so much that they eventually made it their permanent residence for nearly 280 years. But their stay here came to an end when Rome was annexed to the Kingdom of Italy in 1870, and the Pope was forced to flee to the Vatican. He was not happy and even refused to recognize the new Italian state. At the time, the King of Italy took over the palace and made it his home. Later, when the monarchy was abolished, it became the official residence of the President of the Republic. So as you can imagine, this building holds centuries of history, packed with political intrigue, hidden treasures, and dramatic transition of powers, all of which took place within these very walls. But there is one story in particular related to this palace that I want to share with you. It is about papal tradition that began when the popes lived in the Quirinal Palace and ended shortly after they moved permanently to the Vatican. I'm talking about the practice of removing the Pope's interior organs immediately after death. This was done in order to embalm and better preserve the body, which had to be displayed for public mourning over several days before burial. This practice was referred to with the word praecordia, Latin for interior organs, and took place inside the Quirinal Palace. The removal of the internal organs was carried out swiftly, especially in summers, to prevent rapid decay and decomposition. So, what happened to these organs? They weren't discarded. Instead, they were carefully placed in urns and buried in an underground chapel in the nearby church of Saints Vincent and Anastasius, located right next to Trevi Fountains. Today, the urns are still preserved in the church, and while visitors can enter the main sanctuary, the underground chapel where the urns are stored is not open to the public.